It was a freezing cold winter night. Jack and Jane were lost deep within the forest, with only the faint light from Jack's old lantern guiding their way. The silence of the forest was unnerving. The only sound was the crunching of snow under their feet. After walking for a while, a dilapidated cabin appeared through the trees. It looked old and abandoned, as if no one had set foot there for years. Jane shivered as she looked around. "This place ... it feels strange," she said. "It's like something is watching us." Jack held the lantern higher, trying to pierce the darkness. "This must be the place," he said with determination. As they approached the door, the rusty hinges creaked like an eerie scream. The pair cautiously stepped inside. The interior of the cabin was dim and silent. Only the lantern's faint glow illuminated the room. The walls were adorned with old paintings, and dusty books lay scattered across the floor. Jane moved closer to a painting. The faces in it were pale and terrified, as if they were fleeing from something. Below the painting, she noticed an old note: "Do not disturb the spirit that lies here." Just then, a rustling sound came from within the cabin. Jack called out, "Who's there?" But there was no reply. As he swung the lantern around, he thought he saw a shadow flicker on the wall, quickly disappearing into the darkness. Jane shivered with fear. "We should leave," she whispered, but as they turned to the door, it suddenly slammed shut on its own, locking with a loud thud. Jack, panic-stricken, tried to force it open, but it wouldn't budge. Just then the air inside the cabin grew icy cold. Jack and Jane could see their breath hanging in the air. The room was plunged into darkness. All around them, faint whispers began to echo. "Why did you disturb me?" The whisper grew into a bone-chilling scream. The walls of the cabin trembled, and old objects crashed to the floor. Jack and Jane were trapped inside. Jane, looking around frantically, noticed a figure forming in the corner. It was a silhouette of a woman with long, disheveled hair and hollow eyes. The woman seemed to glide towards them, her presence sending a chill down Jane's spine. "This has to be a nightmare," Jane murmured, stepping back. The woman's hollow eyes seemed to bore into their souls. "You will be like the others," she whispered, her voice echoing ominously. "No one leaves here alive." As the woman moved closer to Jack, the lantern suddenly flickered and went out. The room was now in complete darkness. Only the glowing eyes of the ghostly figure could be seen, watching them from the shadows. In an instant, the woman disappeared, but a terrifying laughter filled the cabin, reverberating off the walls. Jane felt the sound echoing in her head. "We have to get out of here," she whispered, her voice shaking. But Jack was desperately searching for a way out in the darkness. Yet the shadows seemed to wrap around them, trapping them inside. The air inside the cabin grew heavy, making it hard to breathe. The shadows seemed to move, closing in on them. Jack and Jane felt utterly trapped. Then, from the darkness, a pair of hands emerged and grabbed Jane's arm. She screamed, trying to pull away, but the grip was too strong. The hand was dragging her into the darkness. Jack tried to save Jane, but he too was grabbed by the dark hands. They were both being pulled into the depths of the cabin. The darkness consumed everything. A dreadful silence fell over the place. Outside, only the wind howled through the trees, and inside the cabin, the sinister presence awaited its next victims.